that'll matter in the long run. There we go. All right, we're on our way. In 3. Nope.
3, 2, 1.
Those were mint-flavored Mentos.
Oh, those are my favorite.
Yes, they're delicious. They're not quite candy and they're not quite mints.
What would Jesus eat?
The morning stream. That's not a chicken wing, man.
Morning, everybody. Welcome back to TMS. Or here for the first time. I don't want to assume stuff, you know? I don't know. You just ran into us. You were in the comedy talk show section of, I don't know, maybe Apple Music or podcast or something. And you went, oh, what's this? What is this little entertaining daily show that I can now listen to? And you just fell in here. Well, yeah. Welcome.
Maybe you were looking for a podcast about the Apple TV hit The Morning Show, and you thought, oh, this has to be about that, right? They're going to talk about Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon's chin and all that stuff. And well, we will. Yeah. Not today, though.
Yeah, not today. But we will. Just not today. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Scott, and that's Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Oh, look at that. It's the 28th. We're perilously close to Halloween.
We are.
Yeah. You got big plans? What are you doing?
Going to Vermont, Scott.
Oh, yeah. Shit, I forgot. I'm going to Vermont. Yeah, Brian's going to Vermont, everybody. That's his big Halloween plans.
The whole reason we don't have a show tomorrow, that we did a film sack last night.
Yeah, good point. You leave when? Today? Tonight? Tomorrow?
No, tomorrow morning.
Okay. How early? What kind of ship flight did you
get? The flight is 11 o'clock, so it's a good like the best time I think to fly. Or actually, even like 11:55. So really good time to fly. However, TSA not getting a lot of people back from COVID coming back to work, and therefore they're recommending you probably want to get to the airport 2.5 hours before your flight.
Oh, geez.
So we're shooting at getting there at about 9, which means we have to leave to catch the train out there. Like at 8. I mean, it's that's an
ordeal.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a big morning ordeal. Do you? I don't know if this is the case. Is it? I know Thanksgiving is, but is the Halloween weekend a big travel weekend for the world? I don't know.
I don't know if it is. I just know that Fridays are notoriously a bad travel day in general.
Oh.
People get out. People like to fly out. Like you get the business travelers on Monday, and then you get the vacation travelers on Friday. And
makes sense.
So that means Sundays are bad because people are coming back, and the rest of the week is slightly better. But man,
only slightly.
Only slightly. Look, yeah. I don't mind going to DI a little bit early. They've got decent Wi-Fi there, and I can get a little bit of work done. There's some new restaurants. I mean, we can hang out there. I've stayed in worse airports for longer and hated it.
Yeah,
LAX being one of them.
Yeah, LAX sucks. You're a good traveler though. You find ways, and I think I do. It's an admirable trait. It's something I'm terrible at. I just hate this part of it. Hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when it's good. Even when you tell me, oh, new restaurants. Oh, fancy new. We have a brand new airport. It's beautiful. Big new, brand new Salt Lake International Airport. Still hate being there. I don't want to be there. I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, like in the grand scheme of things, I'd much rather be where I'm going than in an airport. But if I have to be in an airport, there are way worse airports that I could be in.
And you make the best of it.
I make the best of it. Yeah. I totally do. Yeah. Yes.
So if
there's a Vino Volo where I can go and just say, sir, leave the bottle. I'll take the whole bottle. Thank you. Just leave the bottle in front of me.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So I got some bad news. You know that little damp area of carpet that was like mysterious and we didn't know what happened, and then then it was like gone. That was it. It just disappeared. Yeah. Well, it happened again, but not as much. And the only coinciding event that I can point to was a rainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
So what I got to do, I think, is wait for the next rainstorm and be down there and be all right. Show me what you got, wherever this is coming from, and figure out if it's leaking from where it's coming from. I don't know.
Enough in the water that's coming in And I don't know, exactly what kind of things would cause some luminescence. Since it's natural water, I don't know if this would do it. But could you shut off all the lights and do a black light and then kind of see maybe where there might be a little trickle of water that's pooling somewhere?
Not a bad idea. Yeah. I don't have a black light, though. I'd have to get that.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Are those simple to buy?
Yeah, you can buy one of those on Amazon for
they're not CSI exclusive.
$10 or something. I mean, you're getting one that's like a Blacklight tube in a holder. We have one of those that we use because we were trying to figure out a previous cat that we had was peeing outside of the litter box, like in another room, and we could smell it, but we couldn't find it. We could not find the puddle, the pooling.
Sure.
And so we're like, well, let's just pick up a black light, and instantly we found where she was doing it, and then we took care of it. And by that I mean the cat.
This is only 12. This is only $12, and I don't have to show any crime scene investigation credentials.
No, it's exactly. Yeah, you don't have to take your glasses off and utter some sort of whippy bon mot to start the Who music, the Who music going.
Yeah. Someone starts screaming. Oh, it'll be
exactly.
Great.
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna do this right on the air. I'm gonna just buy it. Here we go. Buy now. $12. Amazon choice. We'll see how that goes. Proceed to checkout. Sure. All right, here it comes. Scott now owns. Does he own it? He almost owns it. Oh, he has some credit. I don't even have to pay for this.
Oh, nice. Look at that. Very cool.
Hold
on. So when you'll do the black light and you'll find the pool and you'll see where it's coming from and you'll wear the sunglasses.
Yeah.
And then you'll say, well, that whets my appetite for another mystery. And then you'll take off the sunglasses and then you'll go, wow!
Were they all Who songs? They were different on each CSI. But
they were different on each CSI, yes, because the original used "Who Are You?"
Yeah.
Who are you? New York used "Won't Get Fooled Again," I think.
Yeah, that was the rule. I think they had to use whatever Who license they bought.
Right. It was like a blanket Who license.
Yeah.
What did CSI Crime or Cyber?
Oh, I forgot that existed.
The Cyber.
What did they use?
I'm very good at the Cyber. This is an impersonation I haven't brought out in a while. Very good at the Cyber.
We never get emails when that one comes out. Let's see. CSI Cyber.
Miami Won't Get Fooled Again. What was in New York? Was New York it was the one that's got a dumb name, Bob O'Reilly, right?
Oh, is that the one? Well, here's Cyber. I'm gonna play a little Cyber just for funsies.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay,
I can see for miles.
I can see for miles and miles because they're Cyber. They can see things. See,
they can see for miles and miles on the information superhighway.
That's right. And then the theme song for New York.
Yeah, Bob O'Reilly.
Okay, it's that thing. All right. They had a Who deal. Yep. They called up the Who and said, "Can we just use all your shit?" And the Who said, "Sure, we don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're just the Who. What do we know?"
No one knows what it's like to be an agent.
A belly on the Super Bowl. All right. Hey, you know what's fun? A monthly foray into the dark, deep depths of the Queen's prison colony known as Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We like to wander in there and see what's up. And by doing so, we end up talking to Gidget. And Gidget is... Oh, she is online. Okay. I was nervous for a second that maybe she forgot. But who am I to say who forgets anything? She's on her way in. We're going to have some fun today. And I'm going to play this intro if I can find the damn thing. Where is it?
Trivial thing.
There it is. Hey, look who it is. It's Gidget Von LaRue, all the way from down under. And, Under, sorry.
Yes, not over, under.
Over, under.
Best position. So, Scott, are you going to... I should have actually put some makeup up my left nostril so that you could have filmed it up there.
Oh, you want me to get...
Look at you all...
Yeah, look at you.
Snippy.
Yeah, what's going on?
All made up.
Why are you all fancy at 3 a.m. or whatever it is there?
For Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who are you being?
I'm doing a horror movie quiz, so I thought I'd better get, I put a bucket up there.
Mm-hmm.
Look.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
There's the bucket, and there's a scary mask.
Yeah.
And that's about the effort that I took to do Halloween.
That's as much as you're putting in.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you decorate?
And I did the gothic eyes, and that's about it.
Sure.
Do you decorate for Australia Day? Do you get decorations, or what? Are there any holidays that you guys decorate for more than Halloween, or is that the extent of all of your holiday decorating? Like what do you do for Christmas?
Halloween's not a big deal in Australia, really. It's only become a big deal probably the last couple of years. Certainly all the shops sell all the stuff for it, but Christmas is weird because we're in the middle of summer, so there's a lot of cards with Santa riding a surfboard and
climbing
kangaroos,
a palm tree and
all that sort of shit. And then Easter is kind of fun. We always grew up with Easter. I remember being a little kid and growing up with Easter and colouring an Easter egg, so we used to do that as well. But Australia Day probably and Anzac Day are two of the biggest days, although our current government's like, no.
Oh, yeah, they're shutting you down.
And this is a silly question, but do kids trick or treat in Australia on Halloween?
Well, my next door neighbours do.
Okay.
So that's about it, because everyone that lives
it feels
around
like
us
one of
is
those
really
things
old.
that you've got to have a lot more participation. Otherwise, it's just you going door to door and asking for stuff. Like if there's not like a 70% yes, we're supporting Halloween and we'll have candy, then it's just, hey, got anything
there needs
to
to be a mandate. You're right. Like if there's no mandate, those kids are just weird kids, right?
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Well, bless the kids next door. We've got some hippies that live next door, and they've got two lovely kids. And every year they dress up, but we always make sure that they know that our house is available for Halloween. And then we just get heaps of candy to give them, because I know that those kids probably live on mung beans and lettuce. So they're stoked to have some candy, probably chuck some meat in there as well for them. And
I'm guessing that everybody next door has the munchies based on that description.
What's a mung bean? What is that? I don't know what that is. Never heard of.
It's just something hippies eat.
Okay. I've never heard of a mung bean. I wonder if that's
mung beans.
Soybeans or something here.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that for sure.
Tofu and all that.
Oh, there we
stuff.
go. A mung bean. They look. Oh, interesting. Okay. An alternative to. Where's it's in the legume family. Mung bean is mainly cultivated in the East, Southeast, and South Asia. Used as an ingredient in both savory and sweet dishes. Hippie beans.
See, that was an Australian saying when I was growing up. When you used to describe hippies, was mung
beans
bean,
and lettuce.
Mung bean eating bo bastard.
That's great.
Yes,
that's great. All right. Well, I've learned something. Hey,
there you go.
You're
can
here.
Use it.
What's great though is you celebrate Halloween with us by bringing us a horror movie quiz this year, and I'm pretty excited about this. So lay it on us. I don't remember who won last time.
This is exciting because this is actually the first quiz. Because if you remember last time when you were like filming into my eyeball, we changed from multiple choice to just the question. So I'm just doing this no multiple choice at all. If you don't know the answer, it goes to the other person.
Okay. Fair enough.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
more of a challenge.
It's old-fashioned way of playing, sure.
Stumble our way into the right answer. Okay, chat room is hidden.
Yep, hide those guys. Here you go. Chat, get out of here.
Goodbye, chat room. We can't see spamming all caps and getting.
Yeah, we can't see you trying to game the rules. I can't see it anymore.
Exactly.
All right. All right.
It's all right. I will be reading you later, chat room.
Yeah. Well, you can keep them up.
Be on alert.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I got nothing else to do when I'm by myself, drinking myself into a stupor. Okay. Oh.
I don't remember who won last time. Do you remember?
I'm pretty sure you won last time, Scott. I think it was a quiz that you nailed, and I could not get any foothold in last month's game.
All right. Well, then that means Brian goes first, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll do.
All right.
Sure.
Go for it.
Fine. Okay. All right. So this is for people listening. This is a horror movie quiz over all decades, not just 80s. Every movie quiz, every horror movie. Sorry. Okay. So number one for Scott.
Brian.
what was the name of Linda Blair's character in The Exorcist?
Wait, this is for you, Brian, isn't it?
Yeah, is this for me or for Scott?
I think it's for Brian, right? Because he lost last time, so he goes first.
And you don't know the answer? Okay, Brian. Welcome to the quiz.
I know, I don't think.
All right.
No, Brian just is first, is what I'm saying. Brian goes first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Could you hear us okay? Are you here?
I don't give a shit. Okay, Brian, what was the name of Linda Blair's character in The Exorcist?
See, this is where I know it was a. Well, I don't want to give any clues away if I don't get it right. I don't want to give any clues away to Scott. It's. Let's see. I do remember it's a unisex. Okay, I will. It's a unisex name. That's I think the only hint I'm going to give to Scott if I get this wrong. But it's something like, Ryder. I'm going to say Ryder. I know that's wrong.
It is wrong. Scott, do you know the name of Linda Blair's character in The Exorcist?
I do. I remember it was the name of president. So Reagan is the name. Reagan.
Correct. Reagan McNeil.
Right.
Yep, Scott.
Reagan McNeil of the McNeil clan.
Okay, Scott, you get an easy question.
Sweet.
All right. Who is the killer in the 1979 film Halloween?
That would be Michael Myers, would be the correct answer.
That is correct.
There you go, Brian.
I think we needed Scott to go first on this quiz.
Yeah, now that we've...
It's weird because I thought the first question was going to be really easy. But see, I'm really into horror movies, so I tried to make this as easy as possible because it wasn't multiple choice.
I haven't seen The Exorcist in years. I mean, I can remember everything else about it, but not...
Scared the shit out of me. I saw it way too young. Same with Poltergeist. Scared the hell out of me and still does. It's weird when you can watch a horror movie in your youth or something scary on TV, like Salem's Lot. I always remember the kids scratching on the window in Salem's Lot, and that stays with you. And I reckon that even when you watch it when you're an adult.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There are movies that stay with you like that. As a matter of fact, that was a topic on Therapy Thursday last week, is those things you see as a kid that just kind of stay with you.
Yep.
I'll have to listen to that. I'll be interested because, I definitely agree with that. Okay, Brian.
Yes.
Number 3, when Carrie, 1976, takes the stage after she's elected prom queen, what animal's blood is poured on her?
Easy one.
They're all going to laugh at you. It's a pig blood.
That is correct.
Her friends have collected. The greatest American hero got some of that pig's blood.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Believe it or not, you're covered in blood.
Well,
I just came up with that. I'm so clever.
That's very
I'm
good.
blonde and
Yes.
everything.
It's very good.
Thanks. Yeah. Feast out on that for a while. Right. Okay. Scott, number 4. What 1953 horror film was remade in 2005 with Paris Hilton?
Shit. Waxwork?
No, it wasn't shit.
So close.
So close, Brian.
House of Wax.
Correct.
Frick. I knew that. Damn it.
Well, if you knew it, you should have said it.
The old Vincent Price film, the original.
Yeah, we'll give Brian a ding. Yeah, I'm thinking I get wax. My
wax
movies. Yeah.
Waxy, wax. I need one of those.
Wax on, wax off.
Okay. Yep. Okay, 5. I look like Chewbacca at the moment. Okay, 5. The expression, do you like scary movies, is from what popular 1996 film?
Movies?
God, I was when you said that, I was thinking it was what Aykroyd says at the beginning of Twilight Zone, the movie, when he's in the car, the hitchhiking deal.
But no,
you like scary movies?
1996.
1996. I mean, I'd go with Scream.
You would be right.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 96 is the giveaway there, I think.
Not for me. No, I didn't know it by year. I was just thinking, well, what movie would be a reference to other movies, and that's.
Oh, gotcha.
You've got the year. You're Mr. Years.
I am Mr. Years. If you got anything with years, man, I'm gonna kill this quiz. But it doesn't sound like she does, so we'll see. Maybe. I don't know. Actually, they've all had years so far.
I can hear you.
Yeah, no, we know. Go ahead. We'll just keep talking about you in third person. And
that's right. If Gidget has any questions about
Hey, Brian, tell Gidget that I'm ready for my next question.
Okay. All right. Scotty Poos. All right. What film does the killer stalk and kill his victims through their dreams?
That would be the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
That would be correct.
Nice. We just did Freddy versus Jason for Film Sack this weekend. We're very excited about
Good
it.
thing we saw that. Otherwise, I don't know if we would be able to get that.
Yeah, that was
so
a hard
top
one.
of mind.
It was
Yes.
a real hard one.
In
I'll take
which
it.
movie does
I
the
did a couple of
killer
weeks-
kill on a certain day of the week? That's usually superstitiously bad.
And it's often the weekend when it happens.
They still haven't done a horror movie about a killer that kills on a certain time of the month, just
No.
called Flow.
You're right.
Oh, jeez.
You're right.
No.
You're right. Synchronize your whatever
Yeah,
you do.
I know.
Right.
Look, it's open for any type of horror movie, so that needs to happen.
Sure.
I mean, they've made horror movies about people turning into, walruses and stuff, and tires and things. So
Sure.
why not that?
Why not?
I know about the
Why
tire
not?
one. I don't know about the walrus one. What's that
Yeah,
one?
that's a new thing.
Wilford Brimley stars in
Stars
walrus.
in
Walrus.
Walrus.
Man. Yeah. There you
Yes.
go. All right. My turn, right? No, I lost.
He
No.
was old in the 80s. He did well. Okay. All right. So, Scott, that was the last one you got correct. So, Brian,
Yeah.
all right, who starred as Rosemary Woodhouse in the 1968 horror film Rosemary's Baby?
Yes, that was. Oh my God! Coming up with her name.
No, it wasn't Oh My God.
Shit. It's not that either.
That's from that
That's
haunted
not my
house
final,
movie.
it's not my final answer.
She was married to Frank Sinatra at the time.
She was, yes.
Gonna have to cross to Scott.
Go to Crow, go to Scott. I'm not going to get it.
Scott.
I'm not going to
All
pull
right.
it out.
Give me the question one more time.
All right, who starred as Rosemary Woodhouse in the 1968 horror film Rosemary's Baby?
Her name is right on the tip of my tongue.
Of course it is.
Blanche Cartwright. I have no idea. It's a lady like that. It's like an
Okay,
old
can either
Hollywood.
of you think of it?
It's a Hollywood lady thing from wherever.
It is an old Hollywood lady. Yeah, right. It's like Anne.
No, you're both wrong. That's a big boop boop. That's
Yeah.
Mia Farrow.
Mia Farrow.
Ah, yeah.
I forgot that. Okay, when I was actually confusing
Yeah,
her with, you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of the lady, the movie with the hanger and the kid.
Oh, yeah. No wire hangers, Mummy
Faye
Dearest.
Dunaway.
Yeah, Faye Dunaway. I don't think.
Really?
Wait, Mia Farrow wasn't married to Frank, was she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't she with Woody Allen for
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Frank Sinatra
quite a long
divorced
time
her.
too?
Yeah, the Woody Allen thing.
Frank Sinatra
left a
divorced her
stain.
while they were making that movie, and then of course she ended up with Woody Allen, and there's a good documentary that you can watch about all of that. Okay, so neither of you
Scott.
got that right. So the next one, that was Brian's question. So the next one is for Scott.
Yeah.
Number 8. What is the collective species name of Pinhead, the Chatterer, and Butterball, etc. in Hellraiser movies?
Those are Cenobites.
That is correct. Well done.
You
Thank
can also
you.
get those for $4.99 a box at the Cinnabon in the mall.
They're too small. I like
I
the
love
large format
Cinnabons.
ones. I like full size Sennas. I like Senna.
I like the little ones.
You wanna just
I
get
like
the
little,
Cinnabites?
the
Yeah.
little ones,
Yeah.
but you can't get them in Australia, and that's why I get so excited. One of the many reasons going to Hawaii is you get to go to the City Buns store,
Oh,
and you get those little City Buns, and you got to eat them straight away
Yeah.
because they don't.
Yeah. Oh,
they
yeah.
don't
No, they've
last.
got to be eaten hot.
oh, you eat
yeah.
them cold.
Gooey.
You're an insane
Oh,
person if
gooey.
you eat them cold. That's true.
Yeah, it's gooey.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott, so Brian, all right, number 9. What horror character is summoned by saying his name 5 times in the mirror?
That'd be a Candyman. Bees, bees.
Was it Candyman?
Yeah, he'll shoot bees at you.
Yes.
Okay.
You were hoping I was going to say Beetlejuice, weren't you?
I mean, that's always a chance, right?
That's right. Well, he's
Yeah,
3
Beetlejuice
times.
is
Candyman's
3.
5 times.
No,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, Candyman is 5. Yeah.
Harvey
and
Weinstein is just 1.
Gidget is 69.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow,
That's
good.
a lot of time in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10.
Yeah.
All right, so Scott, what 1984 film has the 2 lead villains named Isaac and Malachi?
Oh, Children of the Corn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Malachi!
Yeah. I hope someone in the chat's keeping score because I have no idea what the score is.
I think
I'm keeping
5 to
score,
4.
but I can't add, so this should be interesting.
5-4? Oh,
Yeah.
Brian says
5-4 to you.
Okay.
5-4 you.
Barely. I'm barely winning.
Okay. All right. So, Brian,
Yeah.
in the film, the 2015 film The Witch, what kind of animal is Black Phillip?
Well, thank goodness I know this, but I haven't seen the film. I haven't seen the Vavitch, but I
Vavitch,
believe it is
yeah.
a goat and his crazy
That
eyes.
is- Yeah. How have you not seen that?
The Vavitch is awesome.
Because I'm married to someone who can't handle horror movies, and so that
okay.
means the only time I can watch it is directly, like while I'm laying in bed and she's falling asleep, and I can pull out my iPad and watch something. Probably not the best time to watch the Vavitch.
Yeah, it's scary.
The Vavitch.
Yeah.
It is good. That's good. That's a good
Yeah,
horror movie.
it's a
I
very
like that
good
a lot.
movie.
I will support that all the way to the bank. That is a good horror movie.
We still
I like how
don't-
they speak that old English American
Yeah.
language as well.
It's awesome.
We still don't know what kind of creature Anya Taylor-Joy is, though, do we?
No, we don't. No.
Okay.
I think she's one day we'll find out. Hopefully that Furiosa movie will reveal
Yeah.
what species she is, but
I'd like to go to that planet.
yeah, I'd like to live there. But she the guy that plays the dad, he was also in Game of Thrones and he's in a million things. He's great. Forget his name. That actor is amazing, but his use
Ask
of
him
that
question, Gidget.
accent.
Ask him the name of the actor who is the dad in
Yeah,
the
then I'll
Vavitch,
lose this
please.
I'll lose this
Who is
contest.
the name of the actor in the Vavitch?
There you go.
Larry VonPubis. That's his name.
I think that's my dad.
Larry
Oh.
VonPubis. Wow.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah, there we go.
He changed it to LaRue for obvious reasons. All right, so Brian
Can I
got
just show off
that.
my sleeves as well?
Yeah,
Can
for
I?
sure.
Can I show this is my Halloween costume.
Oh, look at you.
oh, cool. You couldn't find any that fit?
Ooh,
Ooh,
it's a witchy thing.
I know. I'm kidding.
Witches always have. I don't know how they do their potions. They must get all the muck of potions on their sleeves.
yeah.
You'd think they'd roll them up and.
Well, it depends on how
Yeah.
good they are. If they're good at it, they don't need to worry about it. They can dip their
No,
sleeves.
true.
It's fine. It's fine.
True.
All right, my
Okay,
turn.
so it's Scott,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 12, what 2002 horror film do a group of college students rent a cabin in the woods and fall victim to a flesh-eating virus?
Oh, that is Cabin Fever.
That is Cabin Fever. You are absolutely right.
done.
That was Eli Roth's
Yeah,
directorial
and
debut.
you know what got me that one is we saw it for Film Sack. I think we did. Did we do Cabin Fever? I don't remember now.
I don't remember.
I've seen it, and I think Eli Roth is incredibly overrated as a director. But
Really?
yeah, I think most of that's his stuff's. I think the Hostel stuff is just kind of bad and boring. I don't like it.
I like it.
But
I like
Cabin
the
Fever.
nastier the horror film. Like, I like psychological stuff as well, and I like real life based stuff. But sometimes you're just in the mood to watch a really nasty horror.
Yeah.
And I love the Hostel movies. I feel like I might watch them after this because I love them.
You should watch the Evil
Yeah.
Dead remake. It's very good. It's scary as crap, and it freaked me out.
I've seen it.
Oh, you did?
I've
You
seen
like
it.
it?
Of course, I've seen it.
Of course, you've seen it. Yeah.
I didn't like the remake of the Evil Dead movie because I thought it was. I don't like violence for just the sake of shock value. It's got to have some purpose.
I get you. It's
so
a pretty.
I wasn't a big fan of
And
it.
no Bruce
really.
Campbell either.
Yeah, no
so
Bruce
how can
Campbell.
you enjoy that?
That's true.
There's no Bruce
Exactly.
Campbell.
Yeah, I liked
Yeah,
it. I thought it was
didn't
good.
have Bruce.
The same guy did the first careful because the Vietnam vet who's blind will hear you and shoot you movie. What was that called? I hear you coming. I can hear you.
They did a sequel to that, and that was quite good as well.
Yeah, I didn't see the sequel. Different director, but that guy, I like that guy. He makes cool movies. Anyway, the point is, the reason I got this right is the year. This is the 2002 is the giveaway for that. Just for the record. All right, go ahead. Brian's turn.
All right.
What are you drinking? What do you got today? What are we doing? What's
Wine.
Oh, it's wine.
Oh, it's wine.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
I mean, red would have
Yeah.
been a little bit more costume appropriate, but whatever. If
I
you're
don't
not
like
going to
it.
fully commit to the bit, then
Yeah. If you don't want to.
I went to a party when I was in my 20s, and someone made what is it sangria that you make with the red
Yeah.
wine?
yeah,
Yeah.
red wine
Yeah,
and fruit.
and I just spewed all over their apartment. So that was me. That was the end of me and red wine. So white wine.
the
and I feel
beginning of
very
your
happy.
love for horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like watching it. I don't like it happening actually to me. Okay. So, Brian,
Yeah.
This is the toughest question. This is the only one that Colonel Kickhead did not get right.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
You might get it.
Okay. Who plays the religious fanatic Mrs. Carmody in Frank Darabon's 2007 horror film, The Mist?
I know this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is, it's the woman who was, wasn't she Tom Cruise's wife in The Firm?
No, that's Jeannie Triplehorn.
That's Jeannie Triplehorn. Okay, that's who I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, okay.
All right, okay. All right, fine. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, no,
it's-
yes.
No, it's another Walking Dead person then, and I'll never get this actress's name. Let's just send it over to Scott.
Yes.
I know
He
it.
loves
Yeah.
that movie and he knows it.
I do love the Mist. It's Marcia Gay Harden.
It is Marcia Gay
Yeah.
Harden. Yeah.
Not from Walking Dead, but looks kind of similar to Jeanne Triplehorn.
Yes, I agree. Those two are.
She does a bit, yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
Leslie Bibb, what's her name combo
Yeah.
of their time. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yep.
She's really evil in that movie. She's horrible in it.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
That is a satisfying kill. I mean, we just
Mm-hmm.
recently did for Retro Cinema our most satisfying 80s movie kills.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was open to all time, her being killed in that movie, you're just like, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
She needed
And
to
I
go.
don't wish harm on anybody, but they're movie characters. It doesn't matter. She's still alive. But her character, you're just like, you just want to, yeah, she plays it so well. She's brilliant. Okay, so that was Brian's question. Didn't get it. So
Nope.
Scott?
Yeah.
All right. What was the twist for the Stewart family, including Grace, Anne, and Nicholas, in the 2001 Gothic supernatural film, The Others?
Oh, the twist. What was the twist? Okay, my memory of that was that Australian native former Tom Cruise wife, what's her name?
Yep.
I can't think of her name.
Exactly.
What's her name? That's not part of the question. What's her freaking name?
Her name is Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. Gosh dang it.
Yes.
My memory was that she thought she was she thought she was seeing all the ghost shit, but she was a ghost in the end. So it's kind of a Sixth Sense
There you
kind of
go.
deal. Is that the deal?
Yeah, you got it.
correct.
Look
Yep.
at
Yeah,
that.
they were dead.
They
were
were
basically
ghosts
dead.
the whole time.
And they were ghosts the whole time. But that's a great movie.
Yeah,
I love that
it is a
movie.
really good
I love
movie.
The
Yeah.
Others. It is such a great movie, and it took a Spanish director to just. I think it was his first English talking movie or something. But that's an awesome movie. Okay, so I was kind of guessing that it might come to a tie.
Yeah, you guessed wrong, didn't you?
I guessed wrong on that one. I see my sleeves. Beautiful.
I think it's
Okay.
8-5, but I think usually you have 15 questions, right? So I probably added wrong.
Yeah,
or
15
something.
questions. So the number 15 is the first in.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So that the first in gets 2 points. So that could change things.
Won't change anything, but that's great.
That's fine. That's tough.
Okay. Fine. It's all fun.
It's all fun.
It's all fun. Okay. All right. First in. Who directed the 1980 horror film The Shining?
Oh.
Shit.
That was,
What's wrong with me?
I know. What's wrong with both of us?
The guy, the Full Metal Jacket, 2001 Space Odyssey. What's wrong?
Come on, Brian. You know it.
I know. It's
Come on.
blocked
Stop
in my
it.
brain.
Hold on.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Come
why
on.
is it?
Just say it.
No,
Say it.
wait.
Scott's having a brain fart.
I know. This is
Just
actually
say
kind
it.
of fun to listen to.
It is fun to listen to, actually. Let's just sit back and listen to that.
Co-director of AI.
Yep.
The Bomb Will Drop movie from the
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
Not Harvey.
You know, he wasn't at my audition is the problem. If he was at my audition, then I'd probably remember his name. But
What is wrong with? Oh, that's right, because you auditioned to be the kid
Yeah.
in The Shining.
Yeah. I
Brian
did.
was second in line. He almost got to be the kid.
No, I was one of 10. I was one of the last 10. So
Still,
maybe 10th in
For
line.
what?
For
What
the
were you
kid
the last
Play,
10 for?
play Danny Torrance in The Shining.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No.
That is amazing.
And then,
How cool would that have been?
Oh, it would have been fantastic.
What is
But
wrong
you,
with
but
my
you know the
brain?
director, Brian, so just bloody say it.
Oh my gosh. What is wrong?
Brian, Scott's about to explode. He's
I know.
about to do a
This is kind of
scanners.
fun, actually.
It's going to do
yeah.
a scanners and just blow.
what I need to do is remember other things about that, and then the name comes to me because I'm trying too hard to remember it. And when you try too hard to remember something, then you'll never remember
the trick? You start to think of something. As soon as you think of something else, it'll come to you.
Exactly.
This is hilarious.
And that actor's name is
So you could say like, oh,
see, and then it disappears. Like it's S.
First letter.
Even the tadpole has fallen asleep.
Oh, I know the
They're all
tadpole's
asleep
yelling.
right
The
now.
tadpole is yelling at us. They're actually getting. I'm sure they're all capping this, and his name is.
Yeah, director. Claire Gatt. Yeah, director.
Stanley
Kubrick is his
Stanley
name.
Kubrick.
There we go.
Shit!
Brian wins.
I was almost there.
Brian.
Like I
Okay,
remember his
all right,
name.
quick add up. Scott,
That
1,
was
2. I'm sure that.
painful.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, about time, exactly. Yeah.
It's like taking
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like
Crazy.
taking
So,
a
what are you
dump.
boys dressing up for Halloween?
I'm gonna be Hawkeye from MASH.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
great.
Really?
Because we found a shirt that looks just like his floral blue shirt he always wore when he was like when they were screwing it off, and I've got a green actual MASH shirt to go under that, and then some dog tags, and then we found a hat that looks just like his like chill out hat. So I will look nothing like Alan Alda under it, but all of the outside will be MASH inspired.
You'll have to shave your beard off.
Well, yeah. Well, there are things. There's some things I won't do in this world, and that's one of them. Just kidding. No, I don't know.
He sometimes wore Hawaiian shirts as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's
the
what
army pants.
and that's what this one looks like. It looks like a big blue and white open. You do an open shirt too. So if I had a picture of it, you guys would go, "Oh, okay, yeah, the Hawkeye always wore that." That's what we're doing. It's mostly my kids' ideas because they love MASH.
All right, so Brian, what are you going as?
I'm dressing as whatever I can just put in the suitcase and put on my head, like a funny hat. I'm going to Vermont for the weekend, and I'm not packing a big old costume.
Oh, lovely.
Because I don't even think they get trick-or-treaters where they live, because the houses are so far apart out there that it wouldn't make sense. So
They're too busy making romantic movies out in that area.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Like, where do we make a romantic movie?
Hallmark Christmas
Martha's
specials.
Vineyard, Vermont.
Mm-hmm. You see things
Yeah.
like I wouldn't go knock on that door if I were you.
Perfect. There we go.
Yep.
Stephanie's right. I'm going to be Spider-Man. I'm taking this.
Oh,
This
take
will
that
fit
with you,
nicely in the
Perfect.
This will fit nicely in the suitcase. I'll be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice.
Brian, when you're there, you got to do that voice though. You got to talk to people like that. You have to go. I wouldn't go up to that town if I were you.
Try the jelly.
Yeah, try the jelly. We make great jelly here. You got to talk like all the Stephen King guys, the secondary characters in Stephen King books. It'd be good.
Exactly. Yes.
Nice.
Well, all right, we did it. Once again, we did it. Next month we'll do another one.
We did it.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. So just for everybody listening, do you prefer multiple choice, like with some wacky answers, or do you prefer the direct answers?
Let me throw out a an alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say just throwing this out, and we can modify it. What if you get it without multiple choice, you get a point. If you need the multiple choice, you get half a point.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not bad.
I like that.
Yeah. I'd sign on for that. That's good.
Because I would have gotten
All right.
Reagan with half a point. There were a couple in there that I probably would have gotten with half a point that I just, like Marcia Gay Harden, I would have gotten with half a point.
Yeah. Oh, I would.
Okay.
Stanley
I
Kubrick
like
would
that.
have 100%.
All right, I'll do that. End of December, because we're not going anywhere.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm not going nowhere in
No
December. So
November?
I will be here, baby.
You're not
No
going,
November?
Yeah,
You're
you
not
usually
gonna-
go to. Oh yeah.
November I will be on jury duty, but that'll be fine because that'll be during the day. So
Jury duty.
Cool.
that's all good. Jury duty.
I want to know
Henry
what
Fonda.
jury duty's
Woo!
like down there. What's it like? Is
Yeah,
it
no
different?
kidding.
You guys
I
like-
love it. We get paid big
Do
time.
your judges, do your barrister? You don't have barristers there. Do you have judges, or
We have lawyers, solicitors, and QCs and judges.
Okay.
What's
And
a
the judges
QC?
don't wear funny wigs, powdered wigs, or anything.
Sometimes, if it's a big case, they do. If it's a local
really?
case, they just show up in speedos and thongs.
Sweet. That's what I like
Yeah.
about where you live.
Yeah.
They pay you? Hold on. How much do you get paid for that?
Well, the last time I did jury duty, I was on jury duty for 2.5 months, and I got paid $290 a week,
It's pretty good.
which wasn't too bad. 5 days a week, and you got in at 10 a.m. and left at like 3:30. So, it was better than working. And they've increased it. They've doubled it. now,
Really?
and I'm out of work, so it works out perfectly. So I hope it's a big murder. Hey, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Big gnarly murder. Yeah.
Let's hope somebody died to make it
whole
interesting.
family killed. That'll be perfect.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Go on for months.
You'll know
That'll
it's
be
big.
brilliant.
You'll know it's big because he'll have a wig on. That's how you'll know. You know?
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody gets a meat pie.
Awesome. Make sure people check out the Retro Cinema Podcast. Where can they get it, and why should they? I mean, they should, but why? Tell them
Why should they?
Well, sell them. You know, give them your
Okay.
pitch.
So I'm co-host of the Retro Cinema Podcast. We just talk about 80s movies. We're an hour-long podcast. We're not critics. We just talk about the movies that we absolutely love from the 80s that we watched when we were teenagers. And our recent one, just out tonight, was actually top 10 80s movie kills.
Ooh.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
So I picked a lot of quirky ones. So check that out. And we're on every platform. So thank you, boys. Happy Halloween, everybody.
You too.
Have a great
Thanks,
time,
Bridget.
Tadpool. Everyone listening, happy Halloween.
You do.
Stay
you
safe.
as well. Enjoy your wine. Your copious amounts of wine.
Enjoy your wine.
Yeah, enjoy your wine.
Freaking Stanley Kubrick, man! I swear to God, if you would have said, name the movie where Jack Nicholson plays Jack Torrance, I would have been able to be like, oh, it's directed by Stanley Kubrick. And the name of the movie is,
Yeah.
It's when you're trying to come up with something. Listen, I swear to God, it's early onset Alzheimer's for me. I'm sure of it.
I mean, we all.
sure of it.
If anyone lives long enough, you're guaranteed. Your brain's going to break down, right?
Right.
So you always wonder when you can't remember
Jeez
Stanley
Louise.
Kubrick is like, is this the beginning of
And that's
my
like
time?
that, Stanley freaking Kubrick. That should be a top of mind. That's like forgetting George Lucas or Steven Spielberg for me. Or,
You know what's
or for
interesting
you, for
is
that matter.
for usually what happens is saying something about things that are in the periphery of the movie.
Yes,
remind
right.
me of what I'm needing to say.
No,
So-
as soon as I started saying like Jack Torrance, you know what? If I would have said, and the hotel is the Overlook, and it's modeled after the Stanley Kubrick.
yeah, there you go. You nailed it. You just have to keep talking to yourself, right?
Right, exactly.
But like
'Cause it's modeled
before-
after the Stanley Hotel.
When she said the Malachi and the other character, that's
Yeah.
all I needed for Children of the Corn. If she
Well, yeah,
said,
Malachi, yeah.
if she said anything else about the Children of the Corn, I
No,
probably would have got hung up on
Malachi
it.
is the only connection right there that I don't. Yeah.
TVZ Gun just put up that Hawkeye image. That's the
with
shirt.
the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah,
That's cool.
except the way I'm gonna wear it, it will be like open with a khaki underneath, and then I've got pants like that and that
a
hat.
bucket hat.
Yep. So I'm going. That's what I'm doing, and no one at our door will know what the hell I am because they're all little kids who've never seen MASH. So their parents will get it.
I should ask my dad if we're going anywhere, like if we're going to a restaurant or anything that night, and it would be appropriate for me to have some sort of costume, because if it is really just going to be us staying home watching something that the three of them find scary.
Yeah.
Three, like, oh, what are we gonna watch?
Rosemary's baby
Up in the air where you don't get freaking flyer miles. Oh, that's scary.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A movie
Exactly.
where
I don't
people
know.
are taxed fairly. Ooh.
Exactly.
All right,
Yes.
we're going to do a little bit of news. We got some time, so we're going to crank a couple of these off.
Cool.
It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by.
Brought to you by Coverville today. Beasts and Beasties is going to be the subject. Of course, Halloween is coming up. It's just around the corner, and so it's a chance to play some covers of songs that aren't your obvious ones, right? No Monster Mash, no nothing like that. It's going to be things like Sympathy for the Devil, Wicked Game, Enter Sandman, covers of songs like that. Plus, because it is King Ad Rock's birthday on Halloween, we'll do a set of Beastie Boys, including the weirdest version of Sabotage you're ever going to hear.
Oh.
The weirdest damn version of Sabotage.
All right, that's intriguing. I want to hear
Yes.
that. Cool. Okay.
I won't even say more than that because it's just so damn weird.
Very cool.
So that'll be
1
1 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville, and I will be playing Guardians of the Galaxy while the music's going.
Oh, nice. They'll get to see you take Peter Quill out for
Take him out for a spin.
Yeah. Does that game? I bet that game has. I haven't checked. It probably has a built-in option to turn the music to something.
I don't know if it does, because
copyrighted.
usually when I'm doing the show, obviously I turn down all game sounds because
Yeah, you're safe then.
People want to hear the music.
Yeah. But there's so much stuff. I didn't realize there's going to be so much licensed stuff in that game.
Oh, I know.
Surprised me. It's great. I love it. It's like perfect for the.
It's like a Guitar Hero game. There's so much licensed music.
Even when he's
there.
just like in the opening or in the menu and he's just sitting there flipping tracks, it's like all the music of my youth is in this game. It's crazy. Really crazy. Anyway, 1 p.m. you guys. Twitch.tv/Coverville.
That's right, exactly. And yes, Red Links, there will be a brand new cover of Werewolves of London that just came out a few weeks ago by a band that you haven't thought about since the 90s.
Wow. I love that song.
Exactly.
That's the cover. You guys just heard it. There's your preview.
That's it. It was exactly all you get.
Yeah, that's all you're going to get. Here's your story. Here's a Halloween story for you. 2 in 5 Americans say ghosts exist. And 1 in 5 say they've encountered one.
Okay. All right.
Now,
are you a ghost believer? Or are you a ghost denier, Scott?
I am not a ghost believer. I think ghosts are often, and more often than not, figments of people's imagination. I think that dream states can tell people a lot about what they think they're seeing. And I have people who I know who say that they wake up in the middle of the night and see ghosts and visages, but they turns out they have an actual scientific condition whose name I forgot. Someone in the chat will know this name.
Drunk is that actual scientific condition.
It's I can't remember what it is. There's a word for it, but at night you're caught somewhere. It's some weird thing where it's not even a disability or anything, but it's somewhere. It's some condition where you get caught between REM and non-REM sleep, and they're in that space is like an effed up perception.
Hallucination zone.
Yeah. And I think hallucinations happen. I think not sleep paralysis, something else. I forget the name of it.
Oh wow, Sidian says parasophialism.
Is that it? That might be it.
Parasophialism.
So it's a lot, but I'll just say this, and you can. Everyone who wants to can come at me. Ghosts aren't real. Y'all, and if you think they are, you're freaking buying into.
I'm open to any proof that people can give me, and the Ghost Hunters show ain't it. That new Demi Lovato thing that I keep seeing commercials for, where she describes herself as, I'm Demi Lovato, actress, singer, and ghost experiencer, which is the most awkward title ever.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to believe people who, and I also don't think they've seen them, but I'm more inclined to believe Bigfoot sightings and alien sightings. Now, if you know me, you know that I already don't think those are happening. So that's just how far off ghosts are for me. Like it's if you buy into it in any significant way, you're just kind of a sucker. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's where I'm at with that. Hey, I guess send your emails if you're a ghost believer. I don't know. Who's out there that's like, I can't wait to register my complaint.
I don't fault anybody who believes in them, but unless I can actually see some sort of proof, then I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, there you go. Skeptical always. Yeah, you show me, give me some hard proof, I'm in. But some blurry film of some night footage of somebody's security camera that thinks that a little fly or a moth in the middle of the night is a ghost, that's not proof. That's additional horse shit. All right. Moving on.
Ace of the Jungle brings up I wonder if you want to tackle this. He says, why is it okay for people to say I believe in God, and it's perfectly normal, but if you say I believe in ghosts, Bigfoot or Loch Ness, then you're a sucker.
No, I'm not.
I think it's because you're not believing in you're not believing in a little dude who lives in the clouds per se. You're believing in a faith. You're having faith in a spirit that powers the religion, right? It's the basis of the religion that you have faith in, as opposed to. I believe he's walking around doing miracles,
and you got no proof of that either. So, right. I'm not.
What about rainbows, Scott?
What he's saying is, if you believe, what he's saying is, why is it okay? There is no okay. Neither of those examples are proof ready. You don't. Right. Neither one of them you're going to go, look,
neither thing has had any sort of proof that we can say, oh, well, there you go. There's perfect proof of the existence of God.
Yeah. And then plenty of people claim it, but no one shows me any proof. Let's see your proof. And again, it can't be security camera that caught a moth at 2 a.m. It can't be that.
It can't be that shaky cam video of Bigfoot walking into the jungle that Quentin Tarantino has on repeat in his office.
Damn
Oh,
straight.
yeah, look at that. Oh, look, just walk away, man. Just walk away. Look at those feet.
Yeah, look at those feet. You are going to have a...
Claire, I love Claire's figured out that as long as you have a couple lowercase letters in her all caps, then she gets away with it.
She is really trying to figure out how to bust that rule. I think it's hilarious. All right, 2 and 5.
Yes.
That's a lot. And here's how this goes. With Halloween just days away, it's season for all things spooky. Ghosts, demons, vampires, all that stuff. A new YouGov survey of 1,000 American adults, that's not a huge sample, but whatever, found that many aren't convinced that these entities are just the stuff of scary stories and horror films. More than 2 in 5 Americans say they believe demons, 43%, exist. A similar percentage, 41%, say the same about ghosts. For both, more Americans say they do exist than don't. The rest are unsure. Far fewer Americans believe in the existence of werewolves, only 9%. Why? Why is that any less?
What's that? No, what's that? Why are werewolves more than vampires? There's somebody's like, well, of course there are werewolves, but vampires? Come on, don't be crazy.
Yeah, don't be bringing your vampire bullshit around
1% of the population that believes in werewolves, but not vampires.
Yeah, that's odd. So vampires at 8. 31% think that other supernatural beings do exist. So without specifics. Women are more likely than men to believe in both ghosts, 50% versus 31%, and demons, 48 to 38. That's an interesting break. I wonder where that would be. That's weird. Education level may also play a part. Really, you think? You think education might have something to do with this? Play a part in whether a person believes in ghosts. Americans with postgraduate education are the least likely to believe in ghosts, at 28% compared to 41% overall. Yeah, that's kind of how that goes. Yeah. The same trend applies to the topic of whether demons exist. Americans who completed the postgraduate education programs are least likely to believe in demons at 31% compared to 43% overall. I still think 31's high.
Welcome to our TED Talk. And by the way, completely respect and support people who do believe in God and all that.
Oh yeah, let's make this clear.
So I don't want my earlier comment to make it sound like, no, if you believe in God, you're a sucker too, because that's definitely not the way I feel.
That's not what we're saying. What I'm saying specifically is anybody who believe, you know what, flip it over and just go Bigfoot.
Yeah, there you go. If you believe in Bigfoot, you're a sucker.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just a complete hoax, and it's always been one, and will ever be one. And we now live in a time where we have like powerful technology that can scan an entire forest and see if there's any heat signatures, anything out of the ordinary. They're not there. They don't exist.
Right. I believe in mailer demons.
What's a mailer demon? I don't know what that is.
That's it sits on the server and reroutes your email when you send.
Oh yeah. Now that you've said it, I can now see it in my head on an email.
You now see it exactly. Yeah. It's like if you've used mailer demon.
Yeah, I love that. So daemon, it's supposed to be spelled demon.
I pronounce it demon, but it's DAEMONS. I don't know if it's pronounced demons or daemons. I don't think it's pronounced mailer daemon.
Maybe do we have a BioCow or some techie expert person buy into that, or can tell us how we're supposed to say that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, we're not bashing religion.
No.
First of all, people need to understand. They probably know this about me already. Religion for me, my entire life has not been about what deity or what thing you think is there, or what thing you have faith in. It's about on the ground, like getting work done kind of religion. Like make sure that guy's fed, make sure that lady has a job, make sure those kids are protected. See what you can do about helping that lady with cancer. That's religion to me. So, if you're wondering why I'm not being dismissive, I just think that rubber to the road is where we ought to be focused with religion.
Yes.
Anyway,
rubber. Focus on rubber and
focus on your rubber and your road, and you'll never be hungry a day in your life. Okay. That's it for that. We're done. That's news.
Okay.
The ghost story is all you're going to get today. But that's okay, because when we come back, my sister Wendi will be here. We're going to talk about some of those phobias you guys sent in last week. Excited about that. So stick around. But first, Brian will play a song. Brian, what do you got?
Sure. The Beginners have a brand new single that they've released. It's coming from their forthcoming EP, which is called Ooey Gooey. Scott, you're going to like this as much as I do, because it features a vocalist from the Aces, Matthias Mora. And we both really like the Aces. They're that local Utah band that had the song, the 805? What's your area code out there?
800. Then other numbers. Mine's 800. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 80.
Nobody has the area code 800.
Or not 800. Sorry. I was thinking a zip code. Sorry. 801 and 4435.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
we have two of them.
So their song, the 801, was a big hit.
I love that
here
song
on
so much.
TMS,
It's so
yes.
good. So good.
Those are the Aces, and Matthias Mora from that band is a guest vocalist on this song. The new song is called Gnarly, and it's by Beginners from their upcoming EP, Ooey Gooey.
Was it a good idea, putting our trust into that man? The one who defeated Komada the Guardian. It could have been.
Yes, I'm almost sure he did it.
Baseball players are swimming in ladies.
The morning stream. It's like this show that you're listening to right now, but better.
All right, we have returned from the break. Brian, that song once again, please.
That song is Gnarly, and it comes from the Ooey Gooey EP, which comes out November 12th of this year. It's by Beginners, featuring Matthias Mora from the band The Aces. That's a lot of information.
Growing up in the 801. It's such a great song.
The one.
It's so good.
A great album. That whole album.
That whole album's great.
Good.
They're great.
Yeah.
I hope they have nothing but just like extreme success. I think they're an awesome local band, and I'm proud to say they're from here. All right, we're gonna get Wendi in here. Her phone says she's on sleep, but I don't think that's true.
She's sleeping.
Yeah.
Don't wake her.
My guess is it'll ring her phone. Yep, there it is. See the icon changed, and then it'll transfer to her PC or her Mac, which is where she'll probably answer this.
She's got the rings of ringage.
The rings of ringage, as Daryl used to say. Oh, by the way, somebody asked, hey, you guys should have Daryl on talk about that new animated Trek thing coming out.
Oh, yeah.
I did. He said no. So
I know.
He's just
we try to get Daryl on here all the time. And,
he doesn't want to. It's not. He's not mad. We talk. It's fine. Everything's good. Yeah. He's just like, I don't know. He just doesn't want to do it. I don't know why. But you ping him on Twitter. He'll tell you how he feels about that stuff. He still loves Star Trek, as far as I know. And I don't know if you saw that painting he did. Did you see that?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, the Bob Ross painting.
Yeah. Well, he had a little Bob Ross inside
fantastic.
of him. He's got like Bob Ross in him, and he didn't even know it. He's probably cranky about that too, but still, it's very cool.
No, he's way more talented at painting than we ever knew, than we ever had any idea.
Yeah,
so.
It seemed really rad. All right, Wendi. Oh, there she is. Hi, Wendi.
Hey, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're good. Hey, wait. I have music. Where is it?
Everyone knows it's Wendi.
Look who it is. It's my sister, Wendi. She is a true professional therapist that helps real people all the time with their real problems, but she slums it here on Thursdays with us to help you with yours. And today, it's a little different. It feels like appropriate for Halloween week, though, because you had us collect a few phobias from our listeners, and we're gonna talk about those. Before we do, though, you got any hot plans for the holiday? You guys do anything fun with the kids?
Actually, Adam is out of town. He's in Vegas.
Oh, all right.
This is hilarious. I don't know who all these people are, but he works for 3M, and he is at a wound conference.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Ooh.
A wound?
Isn't that great?
Is it an open?
I just think it's so funny.
Is it an open conference? You'll get like an open wound. Okay. All right.
It's an open wound. I like what you did there. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Good one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's where he is. So I am going to be handling the Halloween sugar rush by myself. So I'm very bored and excited at the same time.
That's awesome. So you're going to be you'll be a door person.
I'll be the door, and I will be trying to keep my dog happy. And he has it's not Adidas, but it's Addy Dog sweatshirt with a hood that he wears. It's so cute, and I don't know if you know this, but you put a sweater on a dog, and the reason they look so sad is because they're totally restricted and hate it. So that's how I'm going to handle the dog and the door, and then the kids just trick or treat and
Cool.
That sounds fun.
I can't even imagine what Vegas is like on Halloween. If it's just
right.
The scantily clad get even scantily cladder and start walking around down the strip.
How do you have a sexy nurse costume when
when every day in Vegas is a sexy nurse day?
Right. How do you go more costume, or how do you go more Halloween?
Right. I'm wearing a postage stamp today.
We did it one year. We were there on Halloween one year, but
Halloween?
It was only for. It may have only been the daytime. It was passing. I don't remember what the deal was. We weren't there like at night for all of whatever would go on. But I remember it being pretty wall-to-wall people outside walking with like costumes on, and kids included. Yeah. Like people were just dressed up, and it was on the nicer end of the strip. Like who knows what Fremont looked like that night.
Oh, jeez.
I don't want to think about it.
A lot more tricks, far fewer treats.
That's right. Well, Wendi, it's good to have you here, and I hope that's fun. Oh, the only other question is Abe? What's Abe's take on the? He's too old now? He's not going to go, right? He's just gonna. Have a party.
He has a tradition. He and his buddies have a Halloween party where they're dumb.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what he does. They're just dumb. I'm sure they're going to do damage because now all of them drive, so it's a little scary. But...
Dumb and do damage. That's what you do.
Yeah, dumb and do damage. That's what kids do.
That's what they do. All right, well, let's get to what other people don't like to do. Let's talk about
things we hate.
Yeah, we got a handful of these. Now, not nearly as many people sent in them that I thought that we would. A lot of people just didn't admit their phobias. We've talked about ours.
Also, really quick, let me just say this. Phobias are the extreme form of what we all have. And so it applies to everybody, but I appreciate their
Oh, that's interesting. So if I have if I have an extreme fear of heights, somebody else might have a slight fear of heights, or ultimately everybody, if they're in a precarious position at height, are going to experience it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Or they've lost a part of their brain.
So and maybe this is the point of today, but why do some of us have that at its extreme?
Oh, we will get there. So let's use somebody's example. Can we use the monkey one? Not the monkey one. That one's funny. We definitely read that one. Okay, read the monkey one first, and then we want to mainly focus on the cockroach.
All right, this is from Jessica. This is hi, all and Wendi, says the email. I'm behind and just listened to last week's Therapy Thursday episode. Here's my phobia. I'm terrified of monkeys. Twice I've actually run away from them and left my child. They were actually
come walking down the street.
Nice. Those, I don't think it's those kind of monkeys, but maybe.
Oh, those are the ones I'm afraid of.
Okay.
Ooh, Mickey Dolenz, man.
Yeah, he's scary. You don't want him following you around. Anyway, talked about how the kid was quite small, left them behind me out of pure terror. I feel hideous and guilty when I think about it, and I did manage to get my act together and go back for him. He was really fine. They were very small, and his father was there really, but OMG, really. I don't live in a place with regular monkey encounters, but when I've been on vacations and they're around, I do not love it. I can see them. They're very far away. That's fine. I cannot feed them. I don't want to be near them. And the whole let's go to Borneo and be one with the apes sounds mental to me. Honestly, I'm not scared of many animals. Hippos are gross, but monkeys are just awful. Man, really throwing the hippos under the bus.
No kidding.
We'll drive by hippo.
Hippos are gross. Like, nobody brought up hippos, but just decided just throw them under the bus.
Gross.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to throw them. It'd be a big bus, but anyway, whatever.
It'd be a very big bus.
It says but monkeys are just so awful. I walk by them at the zoo. But monkeys are just so awful. I just walk by them at the zoo. Oh, she doesn't hang around to look at them. I think bats are cute. I don't have much of a feeling about snakes or spiders. I don't want to touch live fish, but I would if I had to. People with pet monkeys are weirdos, right? Have a great Halloween, Jessica.
I really like that one.
Yeah, people with monkeys are weird, right? Anyway, have a great Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. I don't have this feeling about monkeys at all. I was trying to think if this would, like if I was put in a cage with a really angry gorilla,
sure.
I think suddenly my ape fear would climb, but like little monkeys or just see them in a zoo or, being around them, that doesn't scare me at all. Even the mean ones, it's just like, you weird looking little weirdos, it'd be fine. Yeah. So all right, so let's talk about this one.
So we'll just start with this. This is like well within the range of normal to a little extreme, right? Like how she feels about hippos and spiders and snakes is, we'd say that's a normal range of response to an animal. So what I like about this is that it's animals, because we all can think of something that maybe we don't love that when it gets near us, or it can get out of control. Like everyone who loves dogs doesn't love a snarling attack dog in their face. Promise.
Yeah.
I promise.
Sure.
That's a moment you don't love dogs. And it's because you are threatened and there's all the signs that you're being threatened, right? Okay, so the question becomes what happened with monkeys that moved it from the range of like she's fine with spiders. She doesn't want to touch live fish.
I love the fish one. The fish is good.
Oh, so funny.
I have that, by the way. I don't want to.
That is gross.
I don't want to touch
what
live
happened
fish
with the monkeys.
I don't
right?
want.
So
I don't want to touch live fish. What does that say about me? Is that bad?
You want to touch
I
live
don't
fish?
want to touch live fish. They freak
Oh.
me out when they're live.
Right. So that's an example of within the range of like, yeah, it's kind of gross, or it doesn't feel good, or that's strange. And then other people, maybe their curiosity is a little bigger than the maybe innate fear of an unknown thing, right? So often we talk about ADD, for example, as this like this doesn't work in the modern world. You got to focus or whatever. Truth is, the reason it's rampant and the reason it survived genetically through all of the hunter-gatherers is that curious, uninhibited person ran out in front and found the new water source or found a new food to eat. And then a bunch of people died as well, right? But the ones who, genetically have been rewarded also have been risk takers or just, that type of thing. So you think about animals in that way. If the creepy crawly 8 legs coming at you of a giant tarantula didn't scare you, well, then somebody figured out what it was because it didn't bother them,
right.
or, found out it wasn't poisonous. So we have a long history of humanity and things that are not human to decide if we're afraid of them or not. Some come very naturally because of the way they move. There's certain animal features
like the way
that are
spiders,
scary.
snakes, the way they move. Yep.
Yeah. Different, or coloring, poison, like all of the ways in the natural world, an animal lets someone else know it's either poisonous or I'm going to taste bad or get away from me. All of those things also work on us. We just don't have the sense of smell that warns us early, but we do visually conceive the thing, right? And so
it's usually color red too, right? That animals will have that, and to make other animals think that they're poisonous, that they're
red's
which
good.
is why brown recluses are so terrifying, because they're just brown and they can look like your carpet.
They look like wolf spiders, and they're
they're bad. Yeah, and they'll eat your flesh or whatever they do.
Yeah, see, we can find things to be scared of. So, all right, so I want you to tell that story first because it's funny. But it's an example of like something maybe happened once in her life with a monkey. And it could have been a stuffed sock monkey. We don't know. But often how anything moves from neutral to that's a little weird to I hate and I will abandon my child to get away from it. Then we know that something has triggered the brain, and I'll get into the anatomy of it in just a second. But something has triggered the brain, the fear receptors, all of it, to say, hey, you may not be okay. And sometimes it's just adjacent to monkeys. So maybe something really hard happened at the zoo once. She got yelled at, she got lost, something hard and difficult, and that kind of got all of her everything tingly. And then she sees a monkey. And that could be enough. Honestly,
it's just the proximity of the monkey to the other
proximity of the monkey, the smell of a monkey, whatever. So now here she is as a parent, like, yeah, I got to take my kids to zoos because that's the right thing to do, and she's having to sort of deal with the monkey. So
it's far more likely that a monkey threw poo at her at the zoo, and that.
Yeah, seriously, so many things. Also, monkeys look enough like human movement. I think there's just something else about that could be really freaky, but. Vast majority of people aren't afraid of monkeys. Why is she? Well, usually because there is some tie, and we'd have to maybe psychoanalyze her to figure it out. This next story, though, is a much more clear example of this. And then I'm going to walk you through how you would actually treat either of these things. But let me just say really quick, let me describe what is happening in the brain. Okay. So I think last week we talked about the amygdala.
Yeah. We're talking about movies when you're a kid and how they stick with you and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so think of it, we kind of think of the brain as having 3 layers. And the first oldest part of the brain is the lizard. You've heard it called the lizard brain before, right?
Yeah.
And that is survival, eat, sex, fight, freeze, run, die young. Like it is got nothing. It's just instinctual, really survival based responses to things. This is also we breathe without thinking type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Where someone's stopping your breathing, you're going to fight like crazy to breathe again, right? A lot of that really is that.
You know what's funny is I'm not good at focusing on my breathing. I never have been. I get distracted and think of other things when I'm supposed to focus on my breathing. It's just like relaxation or whatever. But when somebody brings up the fact that we breathe without thinking about it, then all I can think about is that I'm breathing. Isn't that weird?
I mean, if somebody don't think of a black dog and all you can think of is a black dog at that point.
Yeah. It's a weird reverse thing. Anyway.
And that is exactly what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Is they don't do something is like a cue to the brain that there must be something going on there. My favorite story. Do you remember my friend Katie?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah, I love Katie. Katie
She's
was my
awesome.
favorite of your friends. I loved her.
She was great.
Yeah.
She went to New York after college. She's great. She went to college after New York, or went to New York after college and lived on some fun street, and always funny things happened to her, right? And she said one time she was walking down the street and there's this guy, and you know how they always have like the sidewalk opens up and it goes down into a basement? It's like those whatever. Yeah. He's carrying this giant, really heavy bag, and he kind of is setting it down into the darkness, and he looks over her like a cartoon and goes, "Never you mind what goes on down here."
That's
so
great.
Guess what? She wanted to really, really know what was going on down there, right?
Of course,
like, it's that protective is this, and it may be like a funny version of it, but it always extends to, if I know something, I'm going to feel better about it, right? Yeah. So that's why we explore things, or that's why we try something, is I need to see it or touch it or know it. That's one of our ways of understanding the world. And so when you're told not to, there is this is this safe or not, that kind of gets clicked in. So that's a little bit reptilian. I would say that could be more complicated than that, but we'll say it's that. Okay. So that thing is exactly the premise of what we're getting at, is the don't do something only makes it scarier. So that guy was probably taking down like laundry or garbage or something. Like it's probably not scary at all, and he was just being funny. Yeah. And if she had followed him and said, you know, I'd really like to know what's going on down here, and saw that it was just garbage, then her brain would go, oh yeah, that's nothing. But what her brain has now is a funny story, but also it's a little bit freaky. She doesn't know. So the knowing actually gives the brain the message like, oh, it's okay, right?
Well, not only she's not
here's
know,
what
but
happens with things.
Doesn't she make up? She's made up her own ending to the story too, probably in a number of ways, right? Like,
totally.
Yeah.
And then for 20 years, we say, never you mind what goes on down there, right? Like it's built into our vocabulary.
Becomes a quote of
it's our own meme.
Friend meme.
The meme before memes were cool. Okay, so then if we think of what's happening, okay, so we have this little almond-shaped part of our brain called the amygdala, and that is where all of the input, it has connections throughout the brain and the body. Like it is a size of an almond, but mega powerful. And that is, it gets the information of that berry is red. I'm in the forest. I've never seen it before. That could be really bad. So you're going to have a nervous response or a fear, it could be a curiosity, but like a nervous curiosity, kind of like haunted house stuff, you know, like your body has this instant, I don't know if I'm okay or not. And so what the amygdala does is it's constantly scanning using all of its resources to see if things are safe or not. And so let's say you walk into a party, you know no one, the amygdala is scanning the room and is like, yeah, this isn't good. I don't know anybody. I could really, you know, it's not thinking, it's just feeling. Let's be really clear. It just creates the parasympathetic nervous system to respond. So now your heart rate has gone up, your blood pressure is a little higher, your stomach doesn't feel awesome. Like it's preparing you for something bad to happen. And then nothing bad happens because it's just a dumb party. Or the other way around, you walk into a party, you know a bunch of people. It's all your favorite people. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. I haven't seen you all for 2 years. Yay. So it scans the room. Everything is safe and you feel calm and good, right? So that's its job. It's to find scary things that could hurt you and kill you and to let you know you're safe. Okay. This is really important. The amygdala does no thinking. It's a reptile. It does no thinking. It just responds. Okay.
Right.
So who does all the thinking is the cortex. So that is the storytelling part of us that helps us understand the feeling. So let me give you 2 examples. Did I give these last time about going in the basement and seeing a figure?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
I feel like I said it before and maybe I did it here. Sorry. Okay. So now imagine you walk down in your basement, you're a little kid. Everyone has a scary basement kid story, right?
Yep.
And you look over and you see a figure in the corner.
Is it a hippo?
It's not a hippo.
Okay,
It looks like a dude who's probably going to kill you.
Okay.
And what happens?
run.
Often you turn around and run the other way.
Maybe you freeze. That might be it, right?
Yeah, you can choose. You don't choose, by the way. The amygdala chooses for you. The amygdala chooses for you. You fight, flight, or flee, right? You do one of the 3 Fs. And that happens with no thought. That's just because your visual intake was this figure in the corner. So you instantly have the 3 Fs.
Wait, why is there 3? Isn't flight and flee the same?
Flee are kind of the same.
Flee is flight, same thing.
Okay. So 2.
There is a 4th, and
yeah, we can't say that one on this show. Though.
Yeah,
that is not what it is. The fourth one may be mistaken by men as what you're referring to, but the fourth one is fawn, which is like really trying to convince the axe murderer that he's a nice person and he's not gonna. He's safe. And
well, it's what you see in movies, but you should never try in real life. Like trying to talk to your mugger,
Right.
You're supposed to just give him the
or
wallet.
your abuser. Like there's lots of versions of this. Or your boss who's a jerk, right? Yeah. There's fawning that happens. Okay, so the threat is there. Your amygdala reacts. You have one of the 3 F responses, and then someone flips on the light, and you see it's your dad's suit hanging there drying in the laundry room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now the cortex goes, oh yeah, okay, cool. I had it wrong. I thought it was a guy gonna kill you, so the amygdala responded. There is no story. So the cortex goes, that guy's gonna kill you. That's the response of the cortex. The thinking, newer parts of our brain goes, there has to be an explanation. What is it? Must be a murderer. And you hit the lights, and now I have more information. And now the cortex changes the story to, oh, it's just a suit. Now, just for a moment, imagine this happens to you. You were frozen. How long until you feel you're back to homeostasis? Your heart rate's normal. Your breathing is normal.
Probably, 5 minutes, few minutes. Mm-hmm.
It can take up to about 20 to feel completely normal.
Not that long.
But it varies. It varies with people. It varies with how your sort of endocrine system works. But for the most part, you're looking at 5 to 20 minutes for most people. Okay. And that's because what the amygdala just did, if you didn't poop your pants, it was preparing to, right? Which is get blood to your extremities or away from your extremities so they don't get chopped off and you bleed to death. Mm-hmm. Make sure your lungs are extra capacitated so you get more oxygen to your heart so you can run. Your quads have more zing so you can run away. You don't need that poop in your colon, so either let's get rid of that or suck it back in. So no digestion, no reproductive rights, nothing's happening that isn't necessary in that moment. So to get from that state in 1 second that's the amygdala's job. Yeah. And it does a really good job. And for it to then calm down takes a while because we have to reabsorb the crap that just got released and, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. It's like you're rushing to put all the boards up because the hurricane's coming. You live in South Florida, but then it takes a lot longer to take those boards down and get your store back to normal.
Totally.
Yeah, good comparison. Yeah.
And this is where breathing is always so highly recommended for calming is because what happens when you're in that state is you don't breathe deeply, you breathe shallowly and rapidly, right? And that's why when you see panic attacks on TV shows, they're heavy breathing in a bag, right? It's that quick breath that is part of escaping. That's part of the 3 Fs, right? So you get back to homeostasis. The brain tells you, oh, cool. Yeah, it's just a suit. We're fine. And the amygdala eventually is fine. Yeah. So I'm going to promise you for the next 10 times you go down the stairs, you're going to hit the light before you walk in the room. Because your brain has learned the amygdala is the driver of is something safe or not. Let's just not do that again. Okay. So that's one example. Now I'm going to give you a different example. And this is where anxiety. So that makes sense, right? Sure. That is our system working And of course, our cortex is creative and thinks of an axe murderer rather than a coat suit.
A coot.
But it learned.
Coot in the basement.
A suit coat. What am I saying? Coat suit.
Suit coat is what you mean.
Stop it. Okay. Anyway, so here's a different story. So say you are home alone.
Yeah.
And okay, I'll give you a specific example. So there's a woman home alone. Her husband is traveling. He's out of town. He hasn't gone out much, and he's suddenly gone. And she's sitting in her house, and it's 9 p.m. at night, and the garage door opens. So the garage door does not trigger the amygdala. Because guess what? The amygdala is heard 1,000,000 times is the garage door. It's never been associated with death, destruction, someone's here to kill you.
Okay.
It's only been associated with, oh, my friend's coming home, or my husband's coming home, or we're heading somewhere. It just has no amygdala triggering power.
Yeah.
But, so this is where the cortex goes, yeah, guess who's not in town? That garage door should not be opening. So the cortex is now the thing alarmed because it knows that someone's not in town and that door shouldn't be opening. So then it scares the amygdala.
So it's like the hold on a minute, this is not, this isn't, it's logical, the cortex part. It's like
the thinking part, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, logical except for you're going to get murdered right now.
Well, right. It's basically just presenting the facts, which is like, well, just so you know, that thing did make the noise, and that's normal when your husband's here, but as you know, he's not here, so therefore, and then the amygdala goes, oh, shit, and starts freaking out and banging
100%.
pans. Yeah.
That's exactly what happens. So when we talk about anxiety or even phobias specifically, there is something there's a dance between these amygdala and the cortex, and they can scare each other, right? So think of it as like the friend that you want to go to the haunted house with because you're really good at scaring each other.
Yeah.
So they work in tandem. And so when people worry or spend a lot of time ruminating about things, that is the cortex trying to do something about the underlying fear that is physiologically occurring, right? So one of our jobs as therapists is to help pull apart these two things, who's scaring who, and what do we do about it? So for example, if we can get enough space between the two and the amygdala is triggered and we can train the person to calm the amygdala, this is why we always talk about breathing, because when you breathe deeply, you're telling the amygdala you're okay. If you're not okay, you have to breathe fast because you got to run away or freeze or fight. And so that deep breathing basically tricks the amygdala into thinking that it's okay and it can calm down faster.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Totally.
The problem is you people have really good imaginations. And so that cortex is really good at making something freaky and then vice versa, coming up with ridiculous explanations when the amygdala is triggered. So here's the thing. Normal life, your amygdala should be triggered every once in a while. You know what's amazing is we get in cars, they're like flipping death machines.
Yeah.
But our amygdalas do not go off until we've been in even a fender bender. And it's enough to say, whoa, dude, you have been sleeping on the job. This is actually really bad and terrifying, and this could kill you.
Yeah, it's a real
So
wake
now
up.
we get in trouble because most of us aren't well practiced in how to manage the dance between our amygdala and our cortex because we're just sucked into it. We're just experiencing it. It just takes over, right?
Yeah. Is that explain why there's so much road rage? Like somebody getting pissed because someone cut them
Yes.
off. It's not just a weird anomaly of like, oh, I'm mad only now I'm mad. It's because he breached the contract, right? It's like, oh no, I'm now in danger. And before now, this stretch of highway is no big deal, but now it's a terrible place because this guy did this. So I'm going to flip him off.
And what you'd be amazed at if we just had cars, except it took the cars away and it was just people, and they would like run into each other and be mad or cut each other off, they would be less likely to be in fight mode and more likely to be in flee or freeze mode because they don't have a big ramming machine around them.
Yeah,
sure.
So it's kind of a safe place to be in fight mode. And so I think that's why it's more common than maybe fight mode would be in like a library. I think that's been one of the things about the pandemic that has been, I think, fascinating to watch and terrifying and awful is just how many people can be in a activated state and go into fight mode in a public place about a mask or something, right? Like watching that happen more frequently than what we're used to does it was like, whoa, that's not all right. We can do that in our cars.
Yeah.
But it's because, people are activated. Their amygdalas are activated.
Yeah.
They had a cortex that's saying, none of this is even real. Stop it. Trying to calm so the amygdala, let me say this about the cortex. It can activate the amygdala, and it also does a lot of work to try to calm it down. But it does it with things that sometimes aren't so helpful. So people getting good at understanding this and calming their nervous systems and breathing through the amygdala response until it calms down without activating all the cortex stuff. This isn't easy to do, and you're not going to do it on day one. So just saying that. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an overview of how these two things kind of work together. And then read the email about the cockroaches.
Okay, here we go. By the way, my amygdala, if we could look at it, is just a flopping little nightmare ball that just isn't there going, rah, everything sucks. What are you doing? Rah.
It's no longer shaped like an almond. Now it's like a walnut.
No, it's a misshapen.
Shaped like the handle of an airport toilet.
Yes, there you go. As clean, too. All right, moving on. Chris Pops and Recline in the chat wrote this. My wife has a terrible fear of cockroaches and has traced its origin through therapy. As a young girl, she was molested by a family member who was also their exterminator. We live in South Florida.
Friend who's the exterminator.
Oh, a family friend, sorry. Who is also their exterminator. We live in South Florida, so she still screams when she sees a leaf in the garage, sleeps in the car when we go camping, and never allows eating outside the kitchen. I can fill in details if needed. Let me know, Chris. So that's a pretty extreme case, right? But
that explains it, though.
What a weird way, like not weird, but what a weird, an unusual way for it to channel itself, right? From the molestation then to the creature that the exterminator is focused on.
Right.
And this is a perfect example. I could not have picked a better one of, we can all imagine that the trauma that makes so much sense that there would be some really deep-seated fear and survival response, that the amygdala would be incredibly activated. Like you're being harmed by this person in such an intense way. And how do you protect from that? Well, what it associated with, and this is how it does these adjacent things, like maybe a monkey was nearby. And in this case, it picked the bug that the exterminator, it's related in her head. Yeah. And she didn't choose that. It just happens. And that's how the amygdala works, or the whole protection system works, is it will look around and memorize everything in order to never put you back in that space. So colors, smells, time of year, a measure of light, dark, light, you name it. And so when people have phobias, there's a couple things to always do, is to check that there isn't something else going on, and that it's this adjacent fear, some other trauma that it's been associated. Because sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's just like the monkey screamed at the zoo one time, and I hated it. I hated how it made me feel, and I just want to stay away from it. Okay, so that's really important to explore. And in this case, she has figured out that's what it is. And so healing from that trauma and getting the help that she needs are all really important. What's interesting is that she's done probably half the work, and then there's this other half or quarter left, which is, her amygdala is still afraid of a thing, and it affects her life. So look at, how did he say at the end? Like no one ever eats outside the kitchen.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good rule generally. Yeah. And anything that moves looks like it. So any of these sudden movements or, whatever.
Leaf
and
in
so
the garage.
it may be, what? Go ahead.
The leaf in the garage bit is like if the leaf moves, it's like, oh no, it's another roach, but really it's just a leaf, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that is so anyone else sees a leaf move in a garage and doesn't think much about it, or has a response like, well, I should probably make sure there isn't a mouse or something, like, you're not activated. Your cortex is working in the way it's intended to work to solve a problem. The problem was when your amygdala is activated and your cortex is freaking out, getting your amygdala to activate. It's not that, when people just go, I know it's not rational, right? That's because it isn't. Those things don't happen in a brain body that's in fight, flight, or fight mode. I'm saying it wrong every time. In the 3 F's. Anyway, so take what we would do with this is in both cases, and this is where just hearing this is going to activate some people. So if you all think about what it is you're afraid of or would not want to touch, like fish, and on purpose, we do it. So we've talked about exposure therapy before, and that's kind of the basis of what I'm getting at, is you expose yourself to the stimulus that creates the amygdala response.
So she should put her head inside of an aquarium full of roaches. That's what you're saying? Just go right for it. Go straight to the
Eventually.
Oh, okay.
Eventually.
Okay.
And you would not do this on your own. So she would need to work with someone who works specifically with phobias and does this exposure therapy. And most people don't volunteer for this because if it's not really ruining their lives, then they may not ever do this and they'll just stay afraid of a thing. And that's what they choose to do. Yeah. And there is a reason exposure works. So let's walk through it. So let's say it's just looking at pictures of cockroaches. That's how you would start. Okay.
Yeah.
And the therapist you would be working on breathing deep. You'd have some skills before you start this, by the way, physiologically getting your body to calm itself and to do that before full amygdala response occurs. So if you think of it like, I mean, you guys have been injured before and you've been in shock, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You can't stop shock. You can't go, okay, don't be in shock now. Like it's not, once it starts, it's a process that has to complete itself. And that's similar to fight, flight, or freeze. It has to go through its 5 to 20 minutes or whatever the amount of time your biology takes to get back to normal. But you can prevent it from being activated. And so what you're training the person to do is to work with the amygdala before it activates. Then you would do the exposure. And if it activates, you still have all of these skills. You're just working with your body to keep it calm, working with the cortex to not run off on any stories. And so someone has to guide you. I don't recommend you do this on your own. And then the next exposure, so then you get through it and your body calms down. You still have a picture in front of you usually. And then you can do more and more steps until eventually you can't stick your head inside a hissing cockroach chamber and you would be okay. So this is that's the long form. Yeah. It's incredibly effective. What makes it difficult is compliance, as people really, of course, everything in you says, no, run away, run away. And if that ever happens, what do? We listen and do it. We don't even have a choice most of the time.
Right.
But what we're doing is training the brain that this particular thing is not a threat. Just like when we first discovered certain berries, or we figured out we could do this thing, whatever. Humans have figured out, like cars. Take cars, for example. We've all pretty much decided it's okay to be in one. How? Well, it's exposure and good experience, and exposure and good experience.
Yeah.
And that gets jeopardized when there's a bad experience.
It's like
right? Ruin anything.
Online purchasing is a thing always reminds me of this. People were so afraid of it in the early days, and now it's just like an afterthought. Hacks still happen, problems still arise, but we're like cars, we've come to an agreement,
Right. We've acclimated to it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is. Now, the key being here that being afraid of monkeys is ruining your life, or being afraid of cockroaches is ruining your relationships or your life, right? So sometimes you just have to get this stuff treated so you're more willing to go through the process. And I think I did mention this on the show about the research that's happening in Europe they get you into that hyper aroused state. Your amygdala is on fire doing its job. And then they inject a beta blocker into your system. And what they're doing is they're doing exposure therapy in 24 hours, all of it done with a chemical. Because that's what it is. It's a chemical. It's stopping the chemical transfer of information between the amygdala and the cortex. I mean, I'm maybe guessing that that's what it's blocking. I don't exactly know. But I do know that it essentially changes the body's response. It sort of stops it in its tracks and calms the whole thing down and tells the brain, like, you're fine. So with one exposure to this spider, this guy who is literally curled in a ball screaming, this is the same guy who saw a spider in his car and then sold the car that day. Like, that's how scared of spiders he is. They get him to the absolute crazy arousal state where he is losing his mind. He's only just in the room with a cage with a spider. And they shoot him up when he is, at its peak. And then he sleeps one night, comes back the next day, can walk up to the thing and can put his hand in and hold a tarantula the next day. And that's because they sped this whole thing up very quickly. And what I loved about his description, and I can find the link if you guys want to listen to it, but what I love about the description is he said, it's like I have a memory that I used to be afraid of spiders.
Oh, weird.
That's how it feels. It feels like way back in time, maybe.
That's interesting.
Like I'm supposed to be scared of this, but I'm not. It's as if he forgot the fear. So that's exactly what you're doing with exposure therapy in a longer term, is that you're training your brain, the amygdala specifically, to know that that's now a garage door. It's okay.
Yeah.
And maybe if a spider comes hauling at you and it's 7 feet tall, then it'll be like the cortex goes, yeah, it's not. We should run, Yeah. So we don't want to kill this system. This system is why we're alive. It's incredibly important. It's just sometimes it gets haywire, and we need to. So the hardest thing about this, again, is moving toward your fear rather than away from it, because moving away makes it worse and worse and worse, because our brains are meant to think it's worse, and eventually it can sort of take over, and that's when we get in real trouble.
Yeah, like I don't know why this is so enlightening to me, but I hadn't really considered that. That idea. People always say, well, the best way to deal with something is to just head right into it, like just go into the storm.
Face it head on. Yeah.
I guess when they say that, it sounds extreme, but when you say, well, you have there'll be a guide there for the first bit,
right?
And then
yes, exactly. You don't do it alone, and you take it in baby steps. You don't just dip your head into the aquarium full of
which makes me think I could ride a Ferris wheel again, because right now you'd be dragging me kicking and screaming again on a Ferris wheel. I'm the worst. As soon as you get to the top and it stops, I want to die up there. I hate it.
I don't know what's the baby step on a Ferris wheel? You're either on it or not. Do you start with one of those ones in a kiddie land that's maybe 30 feet tall or 20 feet tall or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and you'd have to get to your therapist would make those decisions, and they would go with you. They would ride in cars with you. They'd get on the Ferris wheel with you or whatever. Like that's the work they have to do. And sometimes it's, the old adage, like just throw them in the deep end. Like that's actually what this is. And so sometimes getting right on one. Now you'd have work you've done beforehand, so you don't just go on like
teaching
on
yourself
Tuesday.
to calm and
and
breathing exercises,
working through it rather than reassuring the therapist is not going to sit there and go like, it's fine, this thing won't break, because logic doesn't work to calm an amygdala. That's the irony of the cortex's attempt. And usually it just makes it worse, right? And so the only answer is to calm your system, and that you have to have the wherewithal to think to do it and to do it. And it's not easy.
We talked about this before. You had expressed some excitement about the potential of VR in this space, and people being able to realistically recreate, say, a Ferris wheel and a heights issue. And I do get heights issues in VR when the height is involved.
Yeah,
that would be a better way maybe to ramp up, work your way up, because you could, in theory, if somebody has a very specific Ferris wheel type thing, there's two aspects of that Ferris wheel thing that are a problem. It's heights, but it's also we're going to stop you up there, and you're not going to be able to do anything or go anywhere when it's stopped.
Right.
That is the worst. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, for Tina, it's she also has a fear of Ferris wheels, but we know exactly where it came from. Her brother, as a kid at Elitch Gardens, an amusement park here in Colorado, when they were on the Ferris wheel and they were stopped as it's loading people on, he would rock the basket that they're sitting in so bad she thought she was going to fall out.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so it's the fear. It's not the fear of heights as much as it's the fear of falling out, the fear of
being out of control.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that therapist would have to get up there and rock the thing. That's how treatment would work for her.
Yeah,
but she would have her breathing exercises as they're doing that.
Yeah, and there is some psychological knowing, like the therapist isn't going to let me die, like my brother might have because he's a kid. But it doesn't matter because your amygdala is pretty sure of it anyway. So but it has to be the level of the thing, right? So this the monkey thing, she might have to hang out with monkeys. She might need to go to Borneo. And the thing is,
there's local monkeys that are a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
to
some
to
local
visit.
exactly.
monkeys.
Well,
Yeah.
and this is something like she can she's still going to zoos, which is good. The part where you get worried is when you completely avoid things. So agoraphobia is when you end up never leaving your house, right? There's lots of things that have been fearful or whatever the specific thing, and then you stay home. Well, you have just quadrupled its power. And that's the key, is to get the brain to understand that it's okay. And sometimes you have to do the exact thing that it's not okay with doing.
Mm-hmm.
So here's an example of a therapist. I was in a training recently and saw this, and I was like, okay, I do not have fear of small spaces or suffocating or any of that. I've been in those caves where rock literally is encasing me and I can still inch through. Like, I don't have any of that. But just listening to him describe what he did in this treatment, I was like, maybe I do. Which was this. He took a client who is so afraid of parking garages, she's just sure she's going to get crushed. Mm-hmm. And that suffocation and the small spaces and, all of that. And the treatment was, and of course, this is after working with her and getting her ready. So, of course, and this guy is world renowned. Let me just repeat. He took duct tape and taped her neck tight.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. I was like, okay, I don't trust anyone that much. Like, I don't think so.
No.
Right?
It's going to hurt when you got to take it off. Holy crap.
Yeah. And what he said was, it was some kind of restrictive. I don't know if it was duct tape.
Okay, so maybe not duct tape, but like
there was something around her that it didn't rip her neck off. But he
right.
restricts her breathing. She's not going to die, but he restricts her breathing. And hey, haven't we all just discussed that breathing is the key to make you calm down?
That's your techniques. Yes, you have your non-breathing techniques now.
And so he had to, they built up to that. And he was being funny and telling about his worst nightmare came true when he went to get the tape off and he couldn't find the end of it. So he's figured out you got to fold it over and,
right.
But what happens is it cures her. So, or this other lady in the parking garage specifically, she would go into parking garages on her own, do it as homework. And this was it's like a two-day therapy model that they do all the training on one day, then they go home and they do all this attempts to freak themselves out. And then they come back the next day. So I watched the video of her, the initial session, and then her coming back. And what she did is she went to every parking garage she could find, would find the darkest corner in the middle of the parking garage and just walk into it and stare and try to get herself to activate, try to get the amygdala to start. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what happens is it doesn't. If you're trying to get it to do it, it won't usually, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the cortex going like, come on, I'm supposed to be scared
The cortex knows that that's what you're trying to do. It's like, you're not going to fool me. I know you're doing this on purpose.
So this is how we use the cortex to our advantage, as opposed to what often happens with the cortex is it's like, are you sure you checked the door? Mm-hmm. Are you, it's just trying to remember to make sure you're safe or remind you of things or freak you out or whatever. Because it's just, it works with the amygdala. It has the same agenda that you stay alive. It's just trying to figure out a story to explain why that garage door is opening.
Sure. Yeah. I guess to finish us out today, let me ask you about this one, because this one feels like it's harder to break. Maybe it's a little bit more like this cockroach problem, which has such a horrible reason for existing.
Source. Yeah.
And I don't want to compare this to that. That's not why I'm bringing it up. So just know I'm just trying to understand this. But when I was younger, junior high age, my brother Mark thought it would be real funny while a bunch of my friends were over at the house if I was wearing these cut-off jean shorts, because that's what Mom did to give us shorts. We would cut our existing jeans down to shorts form. That's the way it worked in the 80s. Anyway, I had this pair of jean shorts on, and they were kind of had little like a hole or a tear in it or something in the back pocket. And Mark thought it would be hilarious that in front of my friends, he grabbed that back pocket and just ripped those things to shreds. He thought that was going to be just the funniest freaking thing. And he did it. And I didn't know what to do. I was so embarrassed because now I'm just like, undies boy laying on the floor while my friends are just sitting there going, and my brother's doing this mean thing to me. And so I just kind of curled up and laid there and was just really upset and mad at him. I felt like for my entire life now, since then, if a button is off or there's a tear in a pair of jeans or I see a little bit of fraying on the edge of a shirt, I get way freaked out. Not freaked out about it, but I get like, oh, I got to replace that. Got to fix that. Can't wear this. Like, even if it's a button, it's like, well, you're wearing the shirt open. You're not even going to button that shirt. Like, this shirt I could wear open. But if the button's gone,
if there's a missing button,
I won't wear it. It just makes me feel, and it's not because I give a crap, as we all know, I do not give a crap about fashion. Okay, none. I have no fashion care at all in me. But this feeling of like, that's a vulnerability has been there, and I hate it, and it drives me nuts. And I want to just, sometimes I see Mark and just like want to like rip his shirt off and expose a nipple or something. I don't know, like go full Janet Jackson on him.
So what I've learned then. What I've learned then is that if you have no fears, it's because you have no siblings. So only children like me, Tina's dick brother and Scott's dick brother, and
totally. Hey, but Brian, I don't have any fears, and I have some dick brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot.
I mean,
remember,
did
you never have any fears, or did you have something you just work your way
Wendy,
through?
Are you afraid of a cold soldering iron? Is the question. Are you afraid?
My
of that?
cortex is amazing. No, no, the soldering iron's a perfect
the best
example.
cortex.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah.
The soldering iron where you pinned me down and I thought my forehead was going to be burned.
Yeah.
Is a great example of something I probably should be afraid of. I'm not. I don't know why. I think it's because in the end, you're like nice and you didn't try to hurt me.
Yeah, it was all a big joke.
I have no idea.
Yeah, had I actually tried to burn you or had burned you, I mean, that's
it'd be over.
Yeah, they'd
right?
be over.
Like,
we wouldn't be talking now. I don't know what our lives would be like, but
no, if you had burned me, first of all, I'd have bangs forever.
Maybe that's why the thing with Mark makes me so mad, because he really did do the thing. Like he did tear my pants off and have me look like an idiot in my underwear in my own house with my friends watching, and now I'm
for his own messed up reasons, right?
Yeah.
Like, who needs to do that to somebody?
It was just mean. It was just a mean thing to do. And in the case, in the case of me, any of your prank jokes you do on April 1st or all the dumb teasing I would do, or my brother Matt chasing me through the house with chewed up pizza in a bag, those are just silly, right? Like they're kind of he's not gonna make me eat his chewed up pizza.
It also made
that's like totally the source.
Yeah, it's so pretty gross.
That's why I have diverticulitis. Now but for me, I feel like it just made lots of things less threatening. Like it actually was like a exposure therapy early. Like just, I don't know. No one can tease me. It takes so much to offend me. You have to like really try. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, that's because I got a cold soldering iron pressed to my forehead. I'm above being offended. I don't know. And maybe I've just spinned it to think it's a strength and really should go to therapy. But anyway, okay. So I got to finish something with this though.
All right.
So this is the answer. People, maybe we do it as a group project, is if it's something like this is not ruining your life, but it bugs you. Mm-hmm. You can do exposure therapy on your own with this level of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
it would look like on purpose, finding a shirt without a button, finding a frayed something or whatever, and elongating how long you can wear the thing, and staying calm, like breathing. If you have to talk it through with Kim or something, do it. But just like try to go a day wearing a thing like that, and just it's like reminding yourself, like I'm actually safe and good, and it's fine, and recognize. Your cortex wants you to also think it's stupid that this is still bugging you after 40 years.
Yeah.
Right?
It annoys me.
And it's because it's not the cortex's deal. It's just trying to understand things. It's the amygdala's deal. Yeah. So we just need to give it a minute to activate because you have a button missing, and breathe through it and survive it, and then do it again. Yeah. And do it again until you forget, and that it doesn't even matter.
And what's weird is it's not like OCD or me going like I need parity with my buttons or there's not a perfection here. Like if I buy a pair of jeans with a hole in them because that's the design of the jeans, that isn't a problem.
That is an example of like that can go that direction easily. Someone could move it further, and that would be because of getting too upset or trying to control it. Like we can make things worse. We absolutely can. Yeah. Sometimes it's just not even a choice. It's just really bad because the trauma was really bad.
Yeah.
And our interpretations of the trauma. So everyone, P.S., has trauma.
Yeah.
It's the interpretation and the amygdala's response to that trauma. Trauma with a big T, trauma with a little t, right? We got monkey trauma. Maybe that's a little t. The cockroach thing is clearly a big T trauma.
Yeah.
There is no better or worse. Our amygdalas respond the way they respond.
Yeah. And sometimes they're a little spastic, little ball of nightmares. And
right.
Sometimes
so
not
let's
so much.
be nice to it. Get it activated, tell it it's okay, and then we'll see what happens.
Wolf Jen in the chat says, just have Kim repeat the process of removal. That should displace the fear. Yeah. We'll turn it into a...
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. If we want to go the harsh route, we'll get that therapist who duct tapes people's necks and have him give you a wedgie so hard that your pants rip, and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
It'd be cured in one session.
We always got a lot of wedgies growing up. Mark gave me what we called Melvins. He also would do that typewriter thing. Do you remember that thing?
You did to me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, this is the point of the circle of life. It ends up gets passed down. Mark pinned me down. He pins you down so you can't move, and then he knuckles your like where your chest bone, like your sternum is.
Your sternum, yeah.
And he goes really hard, and it starts to really hurt. And he goes, "Say ding, say ding, say ding," because the idea is it's called typewriter. So he's doing it, and he goes, and then you finally say ding because you're desperate, and then he'd slap your face as if you were like the carriage of the typewriter. And then you go back to doing it again, typing again. You're like, ding, slap, ding, slap. Like that's
horrible, but it's kind of hilarious.
Oh, it's the worst.
And then Scott, like all abused brothers, have to then pass it on to the next. So he then did it to me.
Yeah, I did.
But I don't think you were ever as relentless or mean.
No. And I never did it. I don't think I ever did it to the Koreans for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
what that was
why?
About. I don't know.
Racist. You only pick on the white girls.
I don't know what that was. I didn't do that, but it is like I do feel like sometimes I grew up in an 80s movie, an 80s comedy, and that these things feel like moments in some kind of
Chet. Basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like Chet or just any John Hughes kind of ideas. They just happen in real time for me, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like the window's closed. I can't walk up to my brother who's now, what is Mark, 62?
Yeah, pin him down.
I'm going to pin him down and start pounding on his chest. Like, what is that even? That's not even an idea.
I don't know. Feels like good therapy to me. Thanksgiving, you guys going to see each other for Thanksgiving? Because I think we need to see this.
No, I don't think we will. But anyway, well, Wendi, as always, good stuff. I love that this was our Halloween week discussion because I don't know.
Hey, by the way, I just had a memory. My kids, I have pinned them down and told them the story, but I never did it to them. I just said, hey, when I was a kid.
This is what we do. Yeah, see, because we still have to have an
outlet.
Think about
it generationally. Like, this is how you break the chain. Sorry, I just have that memory. Like, why have I done this? I haven't actually done it. Oh, no, I just told my kids how lucky they are that no one's done this to them.
I think I did the same. I explained it to Nick, and Nick would have been, he'd have been a fine target for this kind of tomfoolery.
Oh my gosh, Peter would lose his ever living mind.
But I never did it. But I wanted him to appreciate it, that it was done to me.
Yeah, right.
Somehow.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Anyway, Halloween.
And now none of them will do it to Van is the goal here. Nobody's going to pin Van down. Give him the typewriter.
We get better. Every generation we get better.
That's right. So happy Halloween to you and yours. Realstops.org. They're not taking stuff right now, but you can go find out what's going on with that and be ready for the next round. Wendi, anything else you want to mention?
No, just like go be Halloweeny.
Yep, go be Halloweeny. Everyone get your Halloweeny out, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Okay.
All right. That was fun.
It's you'd have to do it differently right now because they don't know what typewriters are. So it'd have to be say whoop whoop, like you're sending a text. Say whoop.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
It is quickly leaving.
You're typing a tweet.
The lexicon, right? You can't. Typewriters aren't what they used to be.
Right. There you go. Go.
Yeah. That's great. All right. We're done. Now, a quick programming note. Couple things. No show tomorrow. Brian's traveling. I don't think that's going to
Sorry, it's my fault, people. My fault.
Yeah, no PM, but we're excited about your Vermont trip. It's, everything is content. We'll get some good stories out of it.
For sure, yeah.
And excited for you to see your family. So that'll be cool. Film Sack is happening. We recorded it last night. It'll air on Saturday. We'll put it up on the feed. So we didn't skip that. Freddy versus Jason, great time.
Oh, man.
Make sure you check it out.
Freddy v. Jason.
What was the other thing I was going to say to people? Oh, our grand finale, or our season finale for There Will Be Dungeons is this weekend. So make sure you check that out on Saturday, 2 p.m. Mountain, live. It is our Delver Season 3 big finale right before we take a little break, and then we launch back into the Waste campaign. Ooh.
Nice.
For longtime listeners, will know what that's all about. So anyway, that's that. And then Brian and I, during the month of November, are going to take a week off. We're taking the week of Thanksgiving off. Okay, we're letting you know now, just a little early notice, that TMS will not exist that week. Some other shows might.
We normally take the Thanksgiving and Black Friday off, but we're just adding a couple days to that. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
We'll be fine.
So that's a week off in November. We don't do that very often, so we're doing that. I think that's it. Do you have anything else? I guess Coverville today, 1 p.m., all that?
Yeah, Coverville Beastie Boys and Beasts coming up today on Coverville. That'll be 1 p.m. Mountain Time at twitch.tv/Coverville.
Nice. Patreon.com/TMS, you guys. Please hop over there. It's almost the end of the month. Great time to hop in and get cool stuff. I just submitted art for the month, and I'm very happy with how it all turned out. If you would like to get art in the mail or other cool benefits, digital and daily and otherwise, patreon.com/TMS. All right, Brian, let's get out of here. What do you got to play at the end of the show?
I have a request, Scott. This is a little bit of a tougher one, but here we go. This one goes out to Jay, who says, after a tough year where I happily got pregnant with our second child, but then 7 weeks down the line lost our baby through an ectopic pregnancy. To say it devastated us is an understatement, but then we made a decision to celebrate what would have been the date of our angel, the day that she was to be born, to get married and make it a day for smiles and laughter and not sadness. Lemons and lemonade at a very grand scale right there.
Yep.
This is a soppy request, but hey, I'm getting married to my best friend, and while he's not perfect, ouch, right there, he's pretty close to it. I mean, come on, you're supposed to say he's perfect, right?
Sure. That's the rule.
Well, no, he's not, but you got to say he is. The song request is perfect. A cover of the Ed Sheeran song by Samantha Harvey. This is just a sweet little tune, and congratulations to you guys for figuring out a way to take a sad event and completely 180 degree it and turn it into a happy one. So very cool. Here is Samantha Harvey and her song Perfect.
Awesome. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great weekend. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Man, you guys are dumb.
No.
Wow.
I'm going to take that personally.
I would too. That's horrible. Horrible.
Horrible.
What a horrible thing to say.